Hi. Okay. So it is happening. We are reading the final chapter of Bloom into You. Um, I really, I don't even know what I could begin to say. This series is very, very precious to me, very special to me. Um, it's put out by no group. I'm a little concerned that it's going to be a really low quality, rushed out translation. But I don't know. I guess we'll try reading it, and if it's really bad, I'll like abort this video and you won't be watching it, I guess. um, so yeah, this series is pretty important to me. One of my favorite Yuri series. By far the most popular thing I've uploaded to my YouTube channel. And that's because of Final Arrow, a fan of mine from China who took it upon themselves to re-upload my videos, with permission, of course, my Bloom Into You videos, onto Bilibili, the Chinese video site, and also subtitle them in Chinese. And those were actually several orders of magnitude more popular on Bilibili than they were ever on YouTube. Which is just surreal, one of the strangest and in many ways most wonderful things that has happened in my entire life. Just a truly bizarre and amazing situation. And what really made it feel so great for me is that it was happening because I was able to really share my love for this series. Like it all comes down to the quality of this series, and it's really hard for me to put into words like why this is so special. This one for me, like you can talk about how well done it is, and I think it is quite well done. The plotline itself, like, isn't really that crazy, nor are like the character archetypes, the backstories, the motivations, the conflicts. And yet it doesn't just feel like, oh, all of that was done really well, which makes it stand out. There is something special about it, something that no other series was doing. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just get into it. Okay. Life never stops. Every day we continue moving forward. It was special, that day, that moment, so long ago. Oh my god, it's a time skip. We got time skipped. So how did the last one end? Let's like go back a little bit first. So this was, of course, the big explosive chapter where they became very physically intimate with one another. They had sex. Um, and they had this really lovely moment. Where shall we go today? The relationship just moving onwards, and I kind of expected the last chapter to be more of kind of like a roundup, like a bunch of small plot points being resolved, maybe telling some people in their lives some sort of like montage of coming out or their relationship becoming a little more official, because these things had been kind of hinted at throughout the series, potential conflicts and stuff. So I thought it would be kind of like a victory lap sort of thing. But no, instead we got time skip, time skip, because we can see you as like putting on earrings, which she's never done before, and she's wearing like not her school uniform. She's wearing something that she's never worn before. Her hair looks a little different. We're time skipping. I'm 90% sure we've time skipped at least a little bit. No, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If you're going out today, don't you have work? I'm off today. Did we time skip? I don't know. Tomi East High's cultural festival with everyone. So like, yeah, your old high school's cultural festival. All right. See, it's we got time skipped. Our Kohai invited us. Okay, so this is like really interesting too because the reason they're going is because of some Kohai characters that happened in an entire year or more that we didn't see, which is pretty intense. Actually, it would be like minimum 2 years, right? Because you has graduated. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So I want to hear. Da, 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 da. Making food in the silence of your own home is the best feeling though, so I don't mind. The silence of your own home. So it looks like her and Hiro moved in together. And so the translation here is maybe a little confusing. Because you is saying someone who's wasting her holiday at home, referring to like their childhood home, their family home, or whatever. And then when she says making food in the silence of your own home is the best feeling, though, I think she's referring to the house she has with Hiro. I don't know. I'm just so curious about like, does her sister know about you and Toko? Has that come out yet? What about her parents? Like, what sort of relationship do they have now? How open is it? Tell them Nami-chan I said hi. Okay, so I think she knows. I don't know. Maybe she knows, but it's not like openly acknowledged. I don't know. Yu's new haircut is pretty cool. I think her whole outfit is really cool. Sister looks the same as always. She do have a fight. Okay, so yeah, she definitely knows. Okay, that's so nice. That's really nice that she's knowledgeable and like supportive and is trying to help the relationship, I guess, in any way she can. Trying to offer some One-san advice. It's not like that, but she said she can't make it today. You two should hurry up and move in together. Isn't Nami-chan lonely being on her own like that? Okay, so Nami-chan living by herself. Okay. Still too soon for that. Unlike you, are in college, so it's a different situation. Okay, so you is in college as well. She was talking about that she didn't have work today, so I thought maybe she was just working now, but I guess it's just like a part-time job she has during college. It could just be working at their bookstore too, for all I know. Whatever. You just say they're just gonna be roommates. I'm sure mom would give you the okay. So she hasn't told her parents, and there's still like a chance that her mom could disapprove. So in last chapters, oh my god, I can't believe it's the last chapter. I've been reading this series for like what, like 5-6 years? It's a long time. Okay, anyways. when there's like the last chapter like this, it's kind of difficult. Whether you want it to kind of just be like a very sentimental sort of victory lap type of thing, which is pretty common, where you sort of revisit a lot of plot points and characters and maybe kind of like just kind of cap them off. But most of the work, most of the conflict of those plot points has all already happened. So it's like, yeah, like I say, it's kind of just like a victory lap. Like there's not like a substantial arc to any of them. Or you can kind of have like one final encapsulation of an arc in the final chapter, like kind of like a one more adventure sort of thing. I mean, adventure isn't quite the word you would use for a romance series, but one more challenge for their relationship to overcome. And in doing so, just kind of encapsulate this whole sort of rhythm of like, they're always going to be having their challenges. There's always going to be hurdles for them to overcome, but they'll do it. They'll do it together, and it'll just kind of keep on going like this, which can be a very reassuring message too. That's almost more of like a victory lap than a victory lap. And there, of course, you need like a nice conflict arc within this one chapter, which is kind of tricky to do. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what am I expecting here? Like, there's only just this chapter left. There's, whatever happens, like that's it. So feels like cheating to me. How noble. So it's like she wants to face up to this. She wants to make it real. Heading out. Some lovely shots in the neighborhood. Yay, it's Koyomi! My favorite character! She shows up in the last chapter. Hooray, hooray, hooray! I thought she would get another arc later where, remember the chapter where she meets one of her favorite authors? She thought the author was a man. It turns out it was a woman. They talk a lot about like writing and stuff. I think they talk a bit about romance. I thought there would be like a whole thing where Koyomi realizes that she's like very much in love with this woman author, discovers her sexuality. Not that I thought that there would be like an actual arc where she gets together with the woman author. I thought that seemed too much, but I thought it was kind of like hinting in that direction. But of course, this is my patented Yuri vision, where I would pull that plot line out of literally nothing in any series, and just the fact that it was happening in a Yuri series. It's like, how could I not? But they didn't really go anywhere with it. That was like the last chapter that was focused on her. Um, of course, she was like instrumental in like the changing of the play ending and stuff, but there wasn't really like a, I don't know, I don't know what I wanted. Okay, but what's up with Koyomi? Face is so pale. Are you okay? Stayed up all night writing. Hard call. Look at that. I know that face. I've made that face. The release date of my first novel is closing in. Ah, Birishi. I'm so happy too. I'm so jealous. But I'm so happy. But I'm so jealous. But I'm so happy. Ah, it's unfair. Koyomi, like, I love that haircut too. I wish I could have that haircut. But my hair is, it's not really like that. It's very curly, as you can tell. But I love straight black bob cut. That's like my favorite. And she gets to have it all. Some people just get to have it all. Anyways, should I do if it doesn't sell? The sequel I'm writing now will be pointless if the first installment flops. I wonder if our girl Nakatani Neo, this is like really writing from experience. Because it is pretty scary that when you're working on something serial, you're always in the future. You're always in the future, hoping that the past will work out the way you want it to. Trying to have faith that what you're doing will resonate with audiences and that you can continue trying to hit that mark and not panicking and going for, well, maybe they want this. Like, maybe they want this. It'll be fine. Our store is going to push it super hard. Yay! That's called cronyism. That's called what can I think of the other word that people use for this? Nepotism. That's nepotism. Oh, whatever. Everyone is here already. Ah, it's our student council. They look a little different, but they're here. Well, it's not just the student council. There's Akari-chan and the other friend, and then this is student council boys. I wonder if Akari and Dojima-kun are dating now, because they hinted at that plot point too. I wonder what's up with Maki-kun. I'm so fascinated by Maki-kun. I think that was one of the first moments that this series like really resonated with me, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be something special. When he talked about how much he loved romance, but he didn't want to be in a romance himself, which of course is like a major theme of Yu's character development as well. But just the way he described it is like a little differently than how you ever articulated it. And it really feels like he's a truly aromantic character. I know a lot of people were like disappointed because they went into this thinking that Yu was like an ace character, like she was asexual and or aromantic. And then they were kind of disappointed when it became evident that no, she actually, of course, has feelings for Toko too. She just kind of has some complexes around them. But I think Maki is actually, I hope they're not, he's not like, here's my girlfriend. And the only thing I would accept is here's my boyfriend. That would make me pretty happy. But I don't think we're going there. I think he's going to stay as like a truly aromantic character, which is pretty cool. Okay. Dojima-kun, it's been a while. Wow, Yu hasn't grown at all. She's still just the same height. I think she used to be like the same height as Maki-kun, but he's like gone past, and Koyomi is taller now too. In the Kansai region, I come back pretty often. To visit once in a while. Oh, so Saike Senpai is here too. I hope she has like another girlfriend. I don't know. Is that too cheap? Is that like too easy? Like maybe it would have more of like a nice heaviness, a nice feeling of life that it's not so convenient that you can just fall in love with someone else after a few years. I don't know. Can't make it. Whoa! Look at this teasing. I love this sort of teasing. Ah, that's so cute. Haven't told Dojima-kun yet. Okay, so Maki, of course, knows. Koyomi, I guess, knows. Akari and other friend, I guess, know. Yeah, Akari and Dojima-kun are definitely dating. Look at this shot in the bottom left panel here. Excuse me. That's all they have to do. Because it's like a pretty minor plotline, so they just need a minor resolution. In fact, it almost works better if it is a minor resolution. Because then it's like all the people that are so invested in the series that they were like aware of that plot point get to have it resolved like kind of just for them. And then people who are more casual readers and they didn't pick up on something like that. Not that it was like super implicit, like they make references to it in the dialogue. It's just that like nothing of consequence really happens because of it. So I could easily see people having forgotten about that plot point or just like not really paying attention to it. I don't know. I'm just going on and on at this point. Like I just really don't want it to end. So I'm trying to talk about everything that I can think of. But yeah, wouldn't it be kind of like jarring if you had never like considered that plot point and then they like give an explicit resolution to it? I don't know. So they just do something subtle. I like it. Business as usual thanks to you. What does that mean? It's a relief. Before the two of you started dating, I thought I should say something for butting in so much and trying to give you advice. Sorry. Yeah, he was actually very critical. There was that chapter where they go batting together that I really like, where he gives some nice advice. He seems like he really cares about the situation. It all turned all right. It's all grown up too now. Ah, I'm not quite sure what she means by that. I guess just that he had the maturity to proactively like apologize like this. I hope it's not a reference to like the fact that he does have a girlfriend or something and she knows about it. I don't think so. I think she's just saying like, I appreciate that you went out of your way to say something like that. So it's their old high school cultural festival. I love cultural festivals so much. This is such a sentimental ending to go back to the high school where everything happened during their cultural festival. And it's like that little bit of distance, you know, it's not their school anymore. But of course, they remember every single brick, every single tile. What the? Oh, this is like throw the ball at the numbers and you have to like get bingo or whatever. That's cool. And of course, they both used to be softball club devotees. So they're very competitive in this. Cute. See. Okay, so they made it like a little more explicit, but it's not like going out of the way. And look, they're drinking tapioca. They're drinking some boba, some bubble tea, which is all the rage in Japan now, which is so confusing to me. Like, why did it take Japan so long to get bubble tea? It's like crazy popular there too, because it is kind of like the new hot thing. Or at least it was kind of throughout early 2019. Like when I was in Japan last January, I would see people like lined up for like chai time. Like I don't even go to the chai time in my city because there's better bubble tea places to go to. And there's people in Tokyo lined up for chai time. It was the first time I've ever felt anything like cultural superiority when I was in Japan. It was the first time I've ever felt like ahead of Tokyo. I was like, you guys really lining up for chai time? Anyways, I really just feel like I'm trying to prolong this so that it doesn't have to end. Okay. So Yu is watching the flirty couple, and she's feeling lonely. Oh, interesting. So this is like the year meetup. I think this means play. I kind of remember the compound for play. So I think they're going to watch some play. Maybe? I don't know. I thought that would be good if it became like an actual tradition, the student council play. So they went to go see the latest student council play. That'd be pretty cool. Sakai senpai, feels like you have a different aura about you. Yeah, she looks a lot more relaxed now. She's wearing like a long cardigan thing. I love long cardigans. They're so comfy. it makes me feel like the appeal of wearing them is that they're like super inconvenient for doing anything like manual labor-y. So it's like you know that you're in like pure relax mode when you're wearing it. It's wonderful. Student council play that we revived back then is still going strong. Hey, I knew it. Okay. Good Japanese reading. Me. During our second year, we ended up having doubts if we could keep it up. Ah. So I wonder what happened with the student council after you and Sakai left. Or not you, Toko and Sakai left. Did you become student president? Did she become bucho? I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it's in her character. Then again, like look what happened to Kumiko. That's like kind of Hibike spoilers, I guess. Anyways, it's so fun. Let's do it, is what I told him. Whoa, Tojimaku became student council president. Okay, all right. I'll take it. That's pretty fun. I like that because it really does imply that there was like a whole other year of wackiness, you know? Like it hints just enough at all sorts of like shenanigans that could have happened. It's kind of like a nice return to form too, because we learn that Nanami's older sister was actually like a very unreliable student council president that was constantly like pushing work onto other people and much more just kind of like a figurehead, and that Nanami is actually like an exception in this role, that she's actually so dutiful and doing all of her work. So Dojima is kind of like a return to form, you know. But yeah, you can imagine all sorts of silly things happening. It's kind of sad because we'll never get to see them, but it's nice because it feels like the world is so lively still. It's like things are happening. Oh, it's Riko Satai! Ah, I love Riko Satai too. I'm so sad. It's the ending. I can't I can't believe this is the last time we're going to see these characters. Yu pulls her phone out. She got a message. She looks kind of incredulous, but slightly happy. Is it her girlfriend? Try back. Try back. Ooh, and she knows. She knows. She knows. Either she knows or because she just like looked at her phone. It looks like she doesn't have another girlfriend or something. I feel like if they wanted to do that, if they wanted to be like, hey, don't even feel bad about this girl, she's moved on, she's happy now, they would have done that already. I think it's more likely that she still has lingering feelings for Nanami. She still has like maybe some complexes about the relationship. And like that's sad, like that's kind of a heavy note to include in this finale that I assume will have overall a very happy end. I'm gonna be shocked if it doesn't. But I like it. I like that there's still like bittersweet elements. Like you can't get over people like that. Like you can't turn those feelings off. So maybe she's still, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. She knows somehow. Hey, there she is. Ah, she looks so cool. She's like running in. Big coat fluttering behind her. Whoa, are they both wearing rings? Wait, I can't tell if Yu is wearing a ring on this page. I don't think she is. I think that's just how the finger is drawn. But Toko is definitely wearing a ring. Oh, maybe Yu is wearing a ring. It does kind of look like she's wearing a ring. I didn't notice that in any of the other shots, though. Even though I'm trying to milk out every single detail I can think of to talk about, so it doesn't have to end. I can't see any shots of her hands where we would know for certain either way. How clever that they deliberately obscure her hand this whole time. I kind of think so. I kind of think so. Whoa. Okay, all right. Anyways, we gotta plunge onward. There they are, the happy couple. She came after all. This is the story of a never-ending river and the boat used to cross it. Okay, so we're actually going to kind of immerse ourselves in the student council play, which I suppose is quite appropriate because the play has always been a pretty major theme of this series, expressing, characters' hidden desires and parts of themselves that are all tucked away through the play. The play's the thing, to quote Hamlet. Um, yeah, I don't know. And this is like kind of another way that you can do a final chapter as opposed to the two ways I talked about before, where you just kind of veer into some other new direction. You just sort of have an episode of something else. Each day it moves forward, uninterrupted. What was special then? That day, that moment. Now it's all in the past. Oh gosh! It's gonna be like this, huh? Like we saw a bit of this right at the start of the chapter that you was talking about how special that day back then was, probably referring to the events of the previous chapter, the first time they slept together. But how things just keep happening. Um, and and here again, as we see, the play is the thing to kind of bring this theme out into something more concrete. But isn't this also how it feels thinking about this series? For 5 years, I should double check. Hold on. I think it started in like it started in 2015. So we've been reading it for a little over 4 years, I guess. Which is, that's a substantial chunk of someone's life. It was very special during that time. And now it's ending. Now it'll just be a memory we have of the series that we read. And it's not like it's gone. I mean, there's still going to be lots of people that are reading it for the first time. It's still new to them. It's still blooming with freshness to everyone who hasn't had the chance to read it yet. And it's not like I can't go back and reread it. I mean, I own the manga now. I can reread it whenever I want, which is cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. But it's over. Like the period of my life where I was waiting for new chapters of this has ended. And they hold hands. How nostalgic. That was like one of the first truly intimate things they'd done. Of course, they kissed a few times before, but it was the time right before Nanami was going to make the speech for her candidacy. And Yu was holding her hand and realizing it was trembling and realizing that she was actually very scared. And I think that was the first time that Yu actually began to reciprocate some of those feelings, where she realized like how fragile this person was, how much she could actually help protect her and bolster her and support her, that she wasn't just some perfect paragon of presidency that would make all of the decisions perfectly and handle everything sweatlessly, and that you could really offer nothing towards besides to be this vessel for an unrequitable love, and just something for Nami to hold and kiss and to not love her back, but that what she really needed was love. What she really needed was support. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's a really compelling thing. It reminds me of another Yuri series I quite like that has been translated into English as The Feelings We All Must Endure. And I think it was also alternately translated as The Dust Which Constitutes Our World, which are two radically different translations of the title, so I don't really know what's going on there. But there's this really wonderful scene where um, I hope this isn't too much spoilers, but the one girl is talking about how she always thought she needed someone to protect her. She always thought she needed some sort of Prince Charming type figure to swoop in and just save her from all the bad things in the world. And then she spent all of this time with like the other lead girl character, who she slowly realized had feelings for her, and she slowly realized was trying to fill that role and was just kind of running herself ragged, trying to be everything for the girl that she loved. And then the first girl, the one that wanted this Prince Charming type figure, realized like maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I was the one that protected you. Maybe I saw you working yourself to the bone in so many different ways and trying and failing and stumbling over and over again. Like, what if I was the one to save you? I just think that's such a beautiful idea. Just these little inversions, just this moment of recognition that the sort of schema of the relationship that you thought you had, the role that you thought you took, instead you're swapping it. That you I don't know why I can explain that so beautiful to me. I think because it has just this potential, this transformative potential that any sort of relationship that you're in, any sort of friendship, any sort of anything, there's this potential for something to just like switch and then I don't know, how nostalgic. uh, if you turn your head, wait, what does it say? And so if you turn your head, you can see them shining bright as they guide the boat along. This is the Sports Fest. They practiced so much for the relay. This was when they were standing there outside the student council room. I think this is when she's like, no, when they decide to do the play, that's when they're standing on that stone bridge thing. I'm not sure what this one is. Maybe this is kind of like a more innocent one, where she just, it's not like that significant. It's just a memory that you happens to have. I love this water effect on this page. The memories just kind of swirling around and yeah, and then of course the play itself, and then Yu's confession. Guiding lights like a lighthouse or stars in the sky. And then like this, we never saw this. This is like just happening metaphorically. This isn't a memory because it doesn't have like, it's not like a wash in this water. This is just them metaphorically riding the boat from the play and looking at all this stuff. It's like the ending of Mother 3. I guess that's a little minor spoiler. It's not like a plot spoiler, but near the end of Mother 3, you take a boat ride, and the boat ride goes past a lot of things that happened in Earthbound, and this like sudden rush of nostalgia and stuff. It's too much. Can't even think about it right now. It's a little too much. So this is their new student council. Good for them. They put on a nice play. She's definitely wearing a ring. Yeah, they're both wearing rings on their left. Yes, that makes sense. Their left ring finger, which I believe is the one that you use for marriage. No? I mean, that's not very subtle if that's what they're doing. If they're really just wearing rings on their wedding ring fingers, then I feel like only Dojima-kun wouldn't have figured it out. It's the only one they're keeping it secret from. Ooh, and then the three of them, it looks like, are going off to the cafe where Riko Sensei's girlfriend or live-in lover, or I don't know. Saying girlfriend, it doesn't seem like it captures the maturity of their relationship. It's a table on the first floor, all right. Whoa! So before they used to live above the cafe, I think. And it was like only her that worked here, but here we can see an employee in the back. So the cafe's gotten like a lot more successful since we last saw it. That's pretty cool. And they've expanded up to the second floor, and I guess Riko Sensei and her have like another place or something. Yeah, it's a lot more crowded than before. It's been a long time since I heard you echoing behind me like that. Hmm? What does that mean? I don't know. Could have pretty down in the dumps earlier. Haha. I'm glad the auditions ended early. Yeah, so I guess she's still doing plays, acting. That's cool. I thought maybe, well, I guess they already did that for the Christmas play, that they had the chapter where Yu goes to see Toko perform, which I thought was really nice. I thought maybe they would do that again as soon as I thought there was a time skip, but I think this is better. Haruka even asked for her autograph. Whoa, she is a pro actress after all, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, even manager-san. Stop with the teasing. Hmm. Wow. So she doesn't even go to the theater troupe that she was in before. She's too busy. Called circles to go to. My time is sort of limited. Whoa. Able to keep up with your studies. I'm getting credits. Wow, she's fallen so far. What happened to being number one in the class? That's so cool. That's like, that's, it's actually pretty funny that she's like fallen from being the supermodel student. That doesn't seem like what I wanted to say. This extremely strong model student that was consistently number one on the leaderboards and stuff. Now she's just getting credits. But you know that this means that she's no longer trying to just occupy the entirety of the shadow of her sister. She's letting certain things go. She's prioritizing her time and becoming her own person. That's really nice. I mean, it's really nice, and I think this is just good character writing and stuff. But it's funny to me that the way it happens is through her like grades slipping. You know, like that's the indicator. That to me is just I don't know. It's just kind of like a nice joke, don't you think? After all the time that she spent studying and competing with Saike Senpai, that it ends in this kind of just like that whole rivalry they had. Free next Friday if you want to hang out. Can you drive us there? Whoa, you has a car now? Retreated. Whoa! Cancel at the last second like last time. I'm gonna get mad. Well, so I like that too. You know, the unseen aspects of their relationship aren't just super perfect, but that they have conflict and challenges and misfortune just like any couple. Not invite Haru-chan out today. Oh, ah, ah, ah. You know, I said some stuff earlier about like, you know, it has a nice bittersweet feeling if she hasn't moved on, if she still has maybe some complex feelings. And then all of this started happening, you know, just the three of them hanging out so casually and chatting and stuff. And I started thinking, like, no, I think I'm off the mark here. Like, I don't think that's really what's going on. She's just kind of teasing. Like, it's not so much she looks at you checking her phone and she's like overcome with this feeling of loss that she maturely transforms into a like, well, this is how it is. See you later, that kind of thing. I think it's more that she has just moved on, and when she sees something like that, she just kind of feels like teasing them a bit. Yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe, because it looks like Haru-chan is her girlfriend. This is my guess. I mean, I who? It's his girlfriend, of course. Easy. Yeah. Ah. I love it. Actually, I'm so much happier. At first, I was, oh, it's nice when there's a bittersweet element. It's nice when it's not just all fluffy and happy. No, no, this is so much better. I'm so happy for her. She gets a happy ending too. It'd be nice if we got to meet her girlfriend, but introducing a new character in the last chapter is pretty crazy. They already had like the Kohai, the new student council that we saw like briefly. You know, we saw briefly, but it was enough to kind of like maybe extrapolate their personalities and stuff. Oh man, oh I'm just so worked up about this. I can't believe it's ending. Even if I didn't say it to her, I figured you would eventually pass on the information. So I like that you and Seke Senpai seem actually very close. It seems like they talk a lot outside of these three-person meetups with Nanami Senpai. They're just friends now. Sayaka, congrats. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I need to calm down. This is getting. We're about to hit levels of sentimentality and beauty that shouldn't even be possible. Now it's just the two of them. I kind of want to take a little detour. Today feels kind of nostalgic. I bet it's going to be that stone bridge thing. That's my guess. You've been calling me Toko Senpai in front of people from high school. Talking about the addition. Kind of worried about that, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Used to come here a lot whenever we talked about something important, remember? They sure had some really dramatic ones on this little stepping stone bridge. It's cute that they acknowledge it, you know? Because it wasn't really acknowledged within the series. It's not like when they went there, they were like, hey, this is the same spot where we talked about the play. Hey, this is the same spot you confessed to me. But now looking back with kind of like a bit more maturity, they're like, this was like the spot. I kind of like that sense of distance where the things that were kind of once sacred to the original series that couldn't really be, I mean, the original series, like the series, the same series, but earlier, that couldn't really be acknowledged within the series. Now it's like you're kind of signifying like we're moving past that now. Like we're those things, those rules like don't apply anymore. This is just a place. These are just places to me now. That's a Bon Iver lyric. Um, it has a nice sense of closure, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm trying to think of another example, but nothing's really coming to mind. It'd be like if at the end of Dragon Ball Z, they were just sitting around talking about like, isn't it crazy that every time there was a new monster, that monster ended up being stronger than the previous monster? What are the odds of that? Like, why weren't the androids actually weaker than Frieza? Why was Majin Buu not actually weaker than Cell? You know, like highlighting that and kind of not necessarily like joking about it, but kind of just like showing that you're on the other side of it now, that you're outside of that structure. You know what I'm saying? It feels like closure. Do we have anything important to talk about today? Path to Treasure of the sale, so I have to buy some on the way home, I guess. Very important. What am I suited for, huh? Been thinking the same thing. I've already received some job hunting notices. It's got me worried. Not taking me over to the store. No way. Ha ha. Interested in publication groups. Watching the whole process around Koyomi writing her first book was really interesting. Also interested in what goes into the final product. If I go down that path, then maybe I should look into advertising. Boo! I don't know. I'm not a fan of advertisers in general. I have a lot of beef with how advertising works, but that's neither here nor there. I like the idea of her going into publishing. I've always kind of liked the literary aura that this series has, you know, the focus on plays and that she works in the bookstore and the character of Koyomi. So I think this would be a very appropriate kind of trail off of that as well. It's usually you're worrying too much. I'm willing to bet you're stressing out over college as well. No need to worry, no matter where you end up. I'm sure you'll do great. Think so? Of course. No matter what you choose, it will all work out in the end. This is so optimistic and positive from this girl who used to worry and fret over everything 3 times as much, who used to see her life as kind of like set out for her, set in stone, the stone of her sister's tombstone, if you will, feeling that she really only had one way to go and she could either just succeed or fail in that, which this challenge of that gripping her entire life. And now that same girl, a few years later, saying no matter what you choose, it will all work out in the end. It's a pretty irresponsible thing to say. I plan on taking full responsibility for it. I. So this is of course like a very cliched line. Take responsibility for this. Like you stirred up these feelings within me. You've led me down this path. You better take responsibility for it. Meaning you better stay with me and support me and love me for the rest of my life. And I don't know if that's supposed to be evoking that whole kind of pile of cliches, but it's nice. Yeah, idiot. Toko. I think it's best that you do something that you love. No matter what you choose, you'll always be you. Yeah, we're on the other side of all these messages now. We're on the other side of all these big introspective struggles that occupied much of this series. Saying nice things like that. No matter what you choose, you'll always be you. Stars are out already. This is, of course, one of the very early images in this series was the little astrolabe, or whatever they're called, the star projector that Nanami gets you as a little souvenir. That she was lying on her bed and reaching out to those stars and thinking about, will I ever get to experience love? Yeah. So here we see a real obvious shot of the ring. Oh, color! Can't just hit me with color after 35 pages. I think this might be it. Yeah. Alright. I think that's it. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was a very nice last chapter. It hit a lot of the points that I was sort of hoping for. We got to see a lot of characters again, see what they're up to after the time skip, which has kind of the effect of resolving all of their little plot points, which made me very happy. Happy for all of them. It's a series where I truly loved the whole cast, even people like Tojima-kun, who were mostly comedic relief. I found myself with a soft spot for it, and I was really happy to see him and Akari together. And it had a few questions remaining too. The thing about you gotta tell mom you're just roommates. So it was nice that her sister knew, but the fact that the rest of her family didn't is this kind of open-ended challenge. So you know that they're still going to be facing challenges going forward. And that, yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's actually over. Good. A good series. I'd like to make more videos about it. Some retrospective, maybe top 10 moments. Some kind of breakdowns of themes and how I see them kind of popping up in different plot points. I don't want to really commit myself to that though, because in a certain sense it's kind of like, well, it's over now, so you just kind of let it rest in a way. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Well, this is already a very long video. and I really don't feel like I have much more to say, so I guess I'll just say goodbye.